hello everybody, friends and listeners and friends. I've got Travis here with me. Hey Trav, you want to introduce yourself?
Hey Brie. Hi. Welcome and much love, fam. Trav here with Brie. And what are we talking about, Brie?
We are talking about authentic creativity and this big life purpose that comes with knowing how to really harness your own authentic creativity to live a fulfilling life. Yeah.
How to live a better life through authentic creativity.
Yes, exactly. So what I was saying is man and woman come together, biological man and woman come together and they make a baby, and that's where life starts. And it starts in this creativity. And for me, that brings this idea of a purpose for all of us to be creative, to create. And that in turn gives us more fulfillment in our lives. You know what I mean? The more you create, the more you leave a mark in this world. That's how your legacy lives on. That's how you live on forever, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's sort of the big topic. And I feel like a lot of people get turned away from creativity because it's boxed in this idea of just art and music and dance. But your creative energy can literally be anything. And I think I really wanted to talk to you about this because your form of creative output and the way that you interact with the world and the way that you make your mark in the world is different than what most people are doing. And
probably true.
But you seem really fulfilled in your life. You know what I mean?
I put a high value on fulfillment through the day.
Yeah.
Is important.
Yeah. So, do you want to talk about what it is that you do and how that's how, what you coin your creative energy as, I guess.
Yeah, and also for people who don't know, the way that we know each other is through Kahumana. I work on the farm, and Brie was here working with adults with developmental disabilities at Hanaola, the Learning Center. And now you live in Texas.
Yes, I'm in Houston, Texas.
So for me, I guess my creation is really in service, not even to humans, but, I like to take care of plants and sheep and pigs and life. And I do place a high goal on daily fulfillment. I want my days to be full and rich and full of service and full of work. I think that fulfillment comes a lot more through satisfaction of hard work than through quick pleasure. So my life's really built around work. I work 40 to 45 hours a week on the farm every day. Sometimes I take a day off on the weekend. I have a niche coaching business where I help Magic the Gathering players.
Yeah.
And I do one-on-one coaching for business and life coaching and career, especially for young men. I write books. I grow trees. What else do I make YouTube videos, and I make a lot of content, and I build a lot of communities online. I'm starting to do retreats.
Oh, dude, I'm starting to do retreats too. Dang.
Are you going to do them out here?
I'm thinking about
here.
it. I'm definitely thinking about it. Why not, make the community even bigger, so.
Yeah, it's so much points for everyone if you do it out here, because all your friends win, and everybody wins.
Yeah.
So, I'm doing a lot of things, and
yeah. So I wanted to touch on a couple of things. One, I really like that you express your creative energy as service, because I feel like that's really a big part of it, right? Because you create for yourself, for one, right? Growing the plants and eating the plants and taking care of the animals, that feels good to you, but even more than feeling good to you, it serves outwards. And that's a big part of creativity too. Even when people paint, they paint for themselves, but they also share it with other people so that they get to experience the beauty and the feelings and that energy that they've put out there, And so I really liked that you use that as an example. And I also want to touch on your coaching and your writing.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, like, you know, a lot of my creation and my creativity, like in growing trees, I'm trying to create a difference for, you know, the environment. And in my coaching, in my online communities and courses, you might not see a physical product, or I'm not building something, but I'm trying to create a change in people.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to I want the world to be different for me, having been here, and I want to create a change, and that change is my legacy, right? So that's why I do the coaching, and I'm hoping really what I want to do is the sort of clients that I work with are people who can turn around and make a large difference themselves, so it's not one-to-one.
Yeah.
Those people have their own audience and can create a ripple.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
I love that. I mean, like, even for me, my creative energy isn't necessarily just art and music. I mean, it's gotten more into, like, plant healing and, like, creating things like that. But I knew... Okay, so this is going to be a perfect segue into finding your purpose. Because there was a post that you made just recently about the lemonade that I want you to explain in depth on here. And so for me, I feel like a little bit privileged in the fact that I kind of knew when I was younger what my purpose was. I was like, you know what, I feel like I'm supposed to be a healer. And that led me to go into college for therapy and, you know, all of that kind of stuff. And that's my creative energy, similar to your coaching, is being able to help people find themselves in themselves, you know what I mean? So that they can create, like you said, a ripple effect outwards as well. So yeah, you want to share about your lemonade post?
Yeah, I also made a video on that.
Cool.
Okay, so I think God gives us lemons in a variety kind. We get the bitter lemons, which is the shitty things that happen in life. But we can take that and you know, add sugar and process it, and you go out into the market. And then you also have your gifts. Like, we're all given gifts. Not everyone is, like, necessarily world-class at something, but we're all generally a little bit better or special at some things than other things. And I think that we have a responsibility to cultivate that into a skill, which is the processing of lemonade, and go out into the marketplace and serve. So, I mean, in my example, for instance, like, I wanted to be maybe like a pro athlete or work with athletes and be a fitness coach. And if I had, like, I tried fairly hard at that, but I just didn't get the results that I did at some other things. I have a gift at writing and community building, and I feel that that's what's asked of me, so that's what I'm going to do.
Right.
Yeah, and not just writing, but sort of inspiring people with words, which includes video and audio. But that came more easily to me.
Yeah.
So for anyone who's watching, I think we have an obligation to do what we're good at and not just what we want to do. You can do what you want to do in your part-time. I play sports and I make music in my part-time, but that's really not what's asked of me. Those aren't my strengths.
Yeah.
So I try to focus on make lemonade.
Right. I wanna ask you about how you've grown to harnessing, like, to coming into that awareness of, like, maybe it's not necessarily just what I want. Maybe there's, you know, this bigger calling that's higher than you, that's more than you, that's already sort of, like, mapped out, you know, that's given you those skills that you're supposed to cultivate more. Does that question make sense to you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, I believe in luck, and I believe in God, and I believe in that good karma is always returned, whether good or bad. So, yeah, I think that we're here for a reason, and the reason is to make a difference and serve, and maybe even put us in a position where we can spread life to the universe. And I don't think we should wait around for someone to tell us. You don't need to wait for me to tell you what your purpose is, but we also have a responsibility to decide that, hey, this is why I'm here. I'm here for a reason. I'm not going to wait for someone to tell me why, and I'm going to get to work.
Yeah. How did you, what clicked in you that made you sort of steer away from the, like, want to, you know, do the sports thing and realize that, wait, my skill is actually here?
A lot of it was money. Like, I was selling everything. You know, I'm an entrepreneur, and I put out products in the marketplace, and I pay attention to what sells the best, and that's the world voting on what I should do. And it was for working in this Magic the Gathering niche and making content through that and building community in that. And it was through, well, it's like, you know, I tried to market myself as a fitness coach, and I just couldn't make sales. But then I marketed myself as a life coach or a business coach, and people pay me a lot. So it's like, I have to do, you know, I have to do this.
Yeah.
People will value, because that's where my value is. The marketplace decides.
Yeah, that's smart. I love how, like, business-minded you are about this as well. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just, like, the frou-frou of, like, here's my purpose. It's like, look, this is also logic.
Oh, I tried and failed. I'd love to have succeeded, but people, at the end of the day, people weren't paying me, so I must not have been that good, right?
Right. And you listen to that, which is really important. I think that's a super important part of this life, this human experience, is to, like, actually be aware of the signs and the synchronicities and the stuff that happens. Like you said, it's luck, and it's something bigger than that too, that sort of guides us either totally away from something or totally towards something. And to listen is, like, really important.
Yeah, you gotta ask and receive feedback.
Yeah.
And reconsider.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Making music. What do you feel inspires you the most besides service? You know what I mean? Like, what makes you feel the fullest just as Travis?
I mean, honestly, it sounds ridiculous to say, but, like, I can't even go beyond that. Like, service, work, working, obligation, community building, that sort of a thing. I've been pretty blessed in my life. There was a period of time where I was making mostly passive income. It wasn't so much money, but enough to travel to different countries and be a surf bum and do other stuff. It was just boring. I wanted to I missed the work and getting back to work, and committed my life to that. Although if I had to specify working with nature, I would say it's something really nice about being outside and working with the seasons and with the weather and the soil. Mm-hmm. I feel it's just really good.
Yeah. I like that. Thank you. Because, like, what I want to also talk about is authenticity. You know, I think it's really hard for people to, like, including myself, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to be anywhere not on an even level with everybody. To find what is genuinely me, you know, and how to be authentically me and how to create authentically. Do you sort of get what I'm saying? So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of directions. The first thing is, like, as a young person, I think that you don't know who you are, what your values are, and you have to try out other things and see how your gut responds to it. You know what? When I was in my teens or whatever, like, I would lie and steal and cheat to try to see it didn't feel right. So, and not just that, but to try to be more extroverted or to be more go to parties or try to, you know, just do different things or try different hobbies.
Right.
And over time, I think you learn more through experimentation. And then I think also it's really important to have people in your inner circle who really are big fans of you and support you for you, and that allows you to be more of yourself. If you have real negative friends who pick on you or make fun of you or put you down, then you sort of regress,
Yeah.
and you hold yourself back, or you try out to do different things. But I think if you have, like, you know, the right friends and the right partner, the right parents, or just people in your inner circle who, you know, really love you for you, and I think you could be more of yourself.
Yeah.
And that allows you to be authentic.
I definitely agree. I mean, like, I've had that experience, you know what I mean? Like, where I didn't necessarily pick the right people in my circle, and they, like, were extremely limiting and made it really hard for me to feel like I could be myself. And then it became really toxic, you know what I mean? Like, where I ended up trickling into really toxic behaviors because I was so unhappy with my environment, and because I was unhappy with my environment, I was unhappy with myself, and because I was unhappy with myself, I was perpetuating this, like, cycle of toxicity, basically. It's super important. And, like, I mean, not everybody gets blessed with good parents, you know, but a really important thing is we have this power of choice. So, you know, your parents may suck, but you can always go out and find a mentor, you know, which is just someone who's older than you, who has skill sets or good things about them that you admire, and ask them to not necessarily parent you, but guide you in a way that a parent should. You know, that's been really helpful for me with having, like, fucked up parents. So I've appreciated mentorship.
Yeah. When you talk about choice, also, like, I think a really important thing to authentic creativity, you go back to the man and woman, is like, you have choice over your partner. You might model it after your fucked up parent relationships, but you don't have to. And, you know, I've been in some relationships where I wasn't like, I was more repressed. Maybe I wasn't I had to repress my authentic self.
Yeah.
And how much friction and how much stymies your growth. And then for that, you know, I spent a lot of time alone also, because when you're alone, you can really be yourself. Like, I can do my own. I can, you know, sing as loud as I want in the car, without people, or just read and go to sleep at 8, not really care what anybody thinks. But something that's happened to me recently, which has been amazing, is a partner coming into my life who, and it's a choice, but appreciates my authentic self, and I just felt more free to sort of do the things I do when no one is listening around, like, everyone, and just be more free, you know, because I think about, like, I really enjoy singing. It's like a problem if I'm in a long road trip. Like with, I just want to keep singing the entire time for like 12 hours.
That's beautiful.
And I know it's like, yeah, but it's like annoying. Like with my brother, for 12 hours, he's listening to me sing for like 12 hours, right? Or it depends who you're with, though. Because if you're with someone who's like, you know, you're amazing, then it allows you to just be more of yourself instead of less of yourself.
Yeah, that's awesome. I just have to comment on how stoked I am about this partnership that you've got going on, and also very, very important. I think, you know, although we're young, I think that we should be way more conscientious of the relationships we put ourselves in. And, like, for me, like, I've had a lot of fucked up relationships, and I've been a fucked up person in relationships because I was broken, and I still am. You know, we all are. We've got our shadows and shit to deal with and things that we need to heal, but if you're choosing a person who only matches your shadows, that's all you're going to bring up with each other, you know? You're going to stifle and love each other in that way. But if you see someone in their light, and they see you in your light, and you just encourage that, like, that's the ultimate. So
and when you talk about creation, one thing I know is you look at all the most successful men, they generally have like a supporting woman in their lives. And you see like, individual creations like Thomas Edison invented the light bulb or whatever. I forget the name of his lady friend, but like, she contributed to that. She like fed him and took care of him and made sure he slept,
right.
And stuff like that. Yeah. Right. Which is really important to the creative aspect of that.
Yeah. I agree.
Yes.
I think partnership is really important, and it goes back to like the basic of what we are as creatures, like human creatures. We need community. We are, whether you're like introverted or extroverted or ambiverted, you still thrive in a way. You're filled in a way by interactions with other people. We need that, and I specifically like really intimate partnerships where you get to be your full self, really intimate friendships where you get to be your full self are so fucking integral, again, to a fulfilled life.
Yes, yeah. And also you go to biology, like humans are relatively monogamous and they're team creatures, working together in pairs and also working together individually in larger groups or as pairs in larger groups. So, there's only so much you can create by yourself, like going even beyond pairs. Like, look at what we're doing as a community group at Kahumana.
Right.
Like, what we have created on the farm in the last 3 years and what we've created, the change we've created in our clients through the Learning Center, and the change we've created through the Transitional Housing Program.
Right.
And, we're doing like $6 million a year in business.
Awesome.
And, but it's like we have over 100 employees, plus volunteers that are working creatively, and also having not just friends and parents and partners who see you, but having like an amazing vision or mission in your organization to aspire to. Yeah. It's like you could create way more together.
Yep, that vision, absolutely. That desire for something better. You know what I mean? I like that you said that before too. It's like you're like, I want to leave this place. I don't know if you said it exactly like this, but this is what I picked up from it, is that you want to leave this place like better than it was when you got
That's a Will Smith quote, by the way.
Yeah?
I stole that from him. I heard that. I was like, yeah, I like that.
I like that. Good job, Will. Oops. Legacy. Like the legacy to do better, basically. To be better. Is very important. And I think that's a good... I just had this thought right now. It's like that's a good way, like for people who don't necessarily know what their purpose is yet, think outside of yourself a little bit too, and see like where there's a need, right? Like you said with your business, you saw where there was a need, and then you saw where your own skill set could sort of fit into that need.
As far as business and service goes, like you generally want to look for something wrong or a problem that people commonly have, don't know how to fix. Rather, people want to, like, this is my idea that I want to do. It's like nobody needs it, like starting from a need. Yeah, in the case of the Magic thing, it was like, there's 20 million Magic players, there's 200,000 tournament Magic players. None of them have a coach. There's 0 coaches.
Why not?
Yeah, like golf players have coaches, tennis players have coaches. It's the same sort of thing. Mm-hmm. There's like a problem. And it's not just like, hey, here's how to like play the cards better, but also you got to get yourself in shape. You got to get your finances right because this is expensive. So you got to get your career in order. So it's more of a holistic thing.
Yeah.
Just a lot of lost nerds like let me help them. They're asking me to, so I will serve.
Yeah, that's awesome. I really love that. I mean, I didn't even know about Magic until you and Nick told me about it, and I was like, what is this card game? But you need to be in shape for it? It's like a physical card game?
Right. For instance, so a tournament is generally Saturday, Sunday, a premier tournament. It's 15 rounds, so it's 15 hours. If you make it to the top 8, it's 18 hours. Can you imagine? SAT is what, 3 hours?
Yeah.
Take 6 SATs back to back to back.
No.
So we've been seeing like the top chess players, for instance, they train like professional athletes at Olympic training facilities for 4 hours a day, and they have their own dietitians and nutritionists. and they go into the chess tournaments are really long. There's one famous high profile. It was the World Championship. It took 5 months and 28 games or something. They had to cancel it because one of the participants lost 28 pounds.
Whoa.
Yeah, so I'm trying to get Magic players to say, like, hey, clearly it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, your brain's a physical organ.
Wow. That's dope. It's really dope. I had, like, no idea. I feel like, I mean, you know, like you said, it's a niche thing, so, but really cool. I feel like health, like brain health, you know, sort of in a different avenue of what you're talking about, because my passion is more so for mental health, whether it be developmental disabilities or, like, you know, brain chemical differences, like where you have depression or anxiety or bipolar or schizophrenia. Like, that's where, like, my heart is, you know, it's like normalizing the fact that we're all weirdos in our own way, you know what I mean, and helping us work through that, because I'm learning how to work through mine, and that's cool too, because you sort of started by coaching yourself through magic, right?
I had mentors who taught me, like some of the best players. I was lucky.
Yeah.
Because I was young, and they're like, here's this kid, let's help him out, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
I didn't have to pay for it, but I guess I would have.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. That's really beautiful.
Comment on mental health. I'm absolutely not an expert at all. I don't know that much, but I definitely do think there's a big physical component to mental health. Like, if you're not getting sunshine, if you're not getting clean air, if you're in a fucked up environment,
yes.
If you're not getting exercise, if you're eating shitty food, you're probably going to feel bad. If you want to feel better, like, come out in the farm at 3. We're going to feed the pigs and pet some sheep in the sunshine. I guarantee you it's going to be good for your mental health.
Yeah. I mean, that's true, and that's, like, why my passion right now and where I'm headed is in transcendental mental health, which is like mind, body, spirit, basically, which is just seeing it's holistic mental health, and seeing that we are more than just our minds, we're more than just our bodies, and we're primarily mostly our spirits, but more than our spirits, and all of it all together. And when you look at yourself as these different components that come together as a whole, and you serve them all, you work with them all together, you will have a better life. You know, like you said, eat better, exercise, get outside, have a good community, have a better environment.
Sheep.
Yeah, sheep. Pet some sheep.
You have to pet some sheep. I promise you'll feel way better.
To pet the sheep.
Yeah, it will change your life.
Yeah, I fucking miss those sheep.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much. I mean, do you have anything else you want to say about this, or like creative energy and...
Talk to me about what your creative energy is right now with the line of lineage thing. Like, where's that coming from? What's the goal? What's happening with that?
Wow. So, So, I mean, it started, honestly, with realizing that we use a lot of toxic chemicals in our everyday stuff, and we make a lot of waste. And so I started, like, upcycling a lot of my glass jars, because I was like, yo, I could reuse these for just about anything. And I was really into candle making, so my little business started with candle making. And then the farther along I got into like my therapeutic practice, I like got really into aromatherapy, and candle making goes hand in hand with aromatherapy. And so I've been making a lot of natural, vegan, organic, herbal products that are really beneficial for your mind, body, spirit. So yeah, that's what that is. But like beyond that, I chose lineage as a name because there's, for mental health, right? There's a lot of things that are passed down through your lineage. There's this thing called inequity, which is like a family sin type of thing. You get your good traits, but you also get the negative traits that come through the blood.
Yeah.
And mine, which I've already talked about, sort of in my past podcasts, but mine is like addiction, and actually it's primarily addiction and unhealthy relationships. And so I'm breaking that, and I'm shifting it into this place of healing and love and community building healthy relationships and self-awareness that you can do these things and be these things. So yeah, that's my creative energy.
Do you make shampoos?
I can make shampoos. You need some shampoo?
It's hard to find like an all-natural shampoo.
Yeah.
I feel like Down to Earth only has like one or two at a time.
Okay.
So I get only what they have, which isn't always what I want.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really hard to find like all organic shampoos. Soaps aren't that hard to find.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
I got you. I'll figure it out. I'll make it work. Absolutely. See, there's a need, and I will supply it.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know how other people probably don't necessarily care as much.
About all
most people have different approaches to their hair.
Right.
Yeah.
You just sort of let it hair, right?
Yeah, like I need to wash it at least once a month, I figure.
I'm like once a week. Man.
Probably twice a month. No, once to twice a month, probably.
Yeah. Man, you probably got a dank head, Travis.
What do you mean, dank?
Like a smell. You probably smell like the sheet.
Well, I'm in the ocean almost every day, so it's not like there's a buildup. Like I rinse it every day.
Gotcha.
I wash it once or twice a week.
Just not.
But I don't know. I mean, I can't smell it, but I haven't gotten
any complaints yet.
No, so.
Okay. Well, then you're good to go. Yeah. So that's part of where my creative energy is coming up, but more so in, it's part of, like, my therapeutic process and helping people find themselves, really, and heal themselves. That's like my big service right there. Like, that's where I feel the most fulfilled. It's like when I have a client come to me and they're like, yo, I had this breakthrough. And, like, I feel better about my life now. And I'm like, yo, you did that, homie. You did that, like, all on your own. And it's fucking beautiful. Like, I love that. That's where, like, I'm served the most.
When are you going to start coaching people?
I mean, I am.
Are you?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
You definitely should be if you weren't.
Yeah.
I was going to ask.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm going to,
Yeah.
There's a new app that I'm going to set up another account on, too. So I'm going to be sharing that out with the world as well. I love it.
Doing big things. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I'm proud of you too, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing a lot of things.
Yeah. It took a big shift for me. Like, I mean, Kahumana is beautiful and I want to go back there, especially now that I'm in a better headspace and a better, like, life space. But I needed a huge environmental change to, like, solidify this growth that's happening inside of me. So.
Yeah, and you have a lot of time, more time to be creative and to create.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Man, thank you. That was dope.
Thank you, Brie, yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate this a bunch.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Thanks for reaching out.
Yeah, thanks for doing what you're doing, man. Like, we're changing the world.
Here, let's chat at each other's social medias.
Yes.
For each other's audiences.
Okay. You tell me yours. I think it's just Travis D.
Yeah,
Woo,
okay.
right?
Yeah, Travis D. Woo on Twitter. Sorry, forget Twitter. I'm on there, but I don't know how I haven't said that. Instagram and YouTube. I guess are the ones I care about. You can add me on Facebook, also Travis Darian Woo.
Yeah. Hey, if you wanted to connect with my social media, my Instagram is Brieligion, BrieLigion. My podcast is on Spotify at Speak Breezy, two separate words, Breezy, Briezy. And then my botanical business is on Instagram at line.of.lineage. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Awesome. Thank you guys for tuning in, whether you're watching this or listening to it.
I guess, I mean, for me, if people have comments, obviously I like them to leave them. Mm-hmm. Do people do that through podcasts? How does that even work?
Not necessarily. I mean, usually because I promote it through social media, people will respond back on Instagram, and then I communicate with them. So send me a DM, or my email is also linked, usually in the bio of my podcast. So you can always send me an email as well.
Cool.
Yeah. Awesome. That was dope. Thanks, man.
Yes. Thank you, Brie.
Yeah.